For whatever reason, they allowed Shadow Politoed in the current meta, and this was one of those few Pokemon that got extra put into this meta. So let's take a look on why they maybe put this in and how strong this Pokemon actually is going to be. And today, I tried to actually have, I think, most of the names of the people that we battle in as well. The first opponent we're going to have here is a nickname, by the way, who is, I think, a two-time regional winner from last season. We have mainly regional winners today, YouTubers in here today. We have everyone battling up against us. We have the Elite basically against us today here. So stay tuned for some awesome battles. Stay tuned to see on how good Politoed is against those players, which I didn't really have that much hope for it, but we're running not the standard moveset, we're running Bubble, because a Bubble has more fast move pressure, and Bubble is going to be better against the Bug-type Pokemon, because Mudshot is the alternative option, and Spidops resist Mudshot, but Spidops doesn't resist the Bubble, and so I tried to use this Pokemon here with a fast move of Bubble. Also, one big benefit of Bubble is you always sneak in one against those 3-turn fast move users, and as Bubble is harder hitting then, for example, a rollout from a Litwick, it's more beneficial for us to get a free fast move in than for the opponent to get a free fast move in. So I think this is kind of the best trade-off. But the first battle here, we're sadly not going to do too well, as there is going to be that Litwick that just does a little bit too much against us. Alright. Litwick against us in Elite, I think that's Caldio SH, which we are playing against, which is also a fellow streamer, so shouts to you. And this is also a very strong opponent who played really well in our last few seasons especially. So let's see how this is going to go. Of course, we are kind of close to 3,100, not 1,300. It would be kind of not the ideal either range, but we're kind of high up in the leaderboards if there would be one, which you see as well because we basically battle against top tier opponents non-stop here. They know what they're doing, but I try to know what I'm doing with a team like this, but Politoed is just, I don't know, like Politoed is for me one of my favorite Pokemon actually for the Go Battle League. It's a fun Pokemon. It's a Pokemon that was super cool back in the day, and then they nerfed Mudshot, and ever since then it never got any kind of play. But luckily it has play, with Bubble especially against the opponent's Litleo, which makes it a very interesting matchup for ourselves. We have some solid bulk still on this Pokemon, even though we have a Shadow variant of it, so we can take a crunch from the opponent, especially the first one. As they, of course, have always the option to kind of debuff us, which is, I think, a 20% chance nowadays. It was a 30% chance prior. But here, we are going to be able to knock out the Litleo, which kind of wins us the battle straight away. So Politoed actually will take home a victory here, as the opponent is going to go down here from one more foul play from our Grimmsnarl. Kazim33, I think he won the regional in Dortmund, which I was also at that regional, which is kind of cool. But also, compared to my last time I used the Grimmsnarl, I changed the moveset a little bit, so I tried out all 3 different movesets that are possible for this Pokemon in this meta already. I do think that this is the best moveset that they can run. Power Punch makes so much sense in the current meta here, as there are a lot of Pokemon they can boost up against, and you barely got to any play rough prior, so here I can go for a Foul Play, which is going to do way more damage, but also force the shield, and now we have both one shield down, and I will use a shield here as well against the opponent's Icy Wind. So, not ideal. I want to swap out into my own Pokemon there, but I'm okay with it. I hope that they actually would use a shield here. This would be ideal for me, and they do decide to use a shield because now I can go into my own Seeking. Even if they go for the Mega Horn, I will be able to reach another charge move in time afterwards. It's gonna be the Mega Horn. They go into that Tyranta, and I can try to knock them out, but I'm not gonna be able to with my Pokemon here. So Brutusing comes in, and now I can actually go for the Ice Wind. Apparently they just undercharged it so much because they just didn't want to give us any farm with our other Pokemon. But what I have here is I have my Politoed, and Politoed is doing some solid damage, as we have Weather Ball, which got recently only buffed on this Pokemon here, doing very solid damage as well against something like a Dunsparce. I expect the opponent to swap out, and I swap out at the same time as they swap out, and now I'm going to be able to go for another Foul Play. And this was so well executed by me that we're going to be able to now win this battle quite easily, as an Ice Beam is going to knock out the Dunsparce here from the opponent quite easily. Ice Beam is a Community Day move as far as I know. So that's kind of nice for us, so we can move on to the next opponent. We face off against the Litwick, and this is going to be alright for us as well, because we are going to be able to go for those foul plays against them, which should work out quite well for us. This is going to do some solid damage, and we can try to swap out now into our Seeking. Seeking is basically here to counter any kind of water type answer. So we have our lead, which is necessary because our Pokemon in the back, our Politoed isn't great against any kind of those Dragon-type Pokemon. We have Ice Beam as coverage, but still not going to be ideal. And so we're going to have our Seeking in order to kind of deal with that. Here, I'm going to be able to get 2 icy ones off against them, which is fine, but I actually should have went for a drill one here instead, which would have knocked them out here, so that was actually a big mistake. So we're going to lose this battle because of this, that was definitely my fault, because the Shadow Ball damage should have never came through. In comes the B-drill, and this is not looking that great. We're going to have the Weather Ball coming in, at least we're going to have here fast move pressure with our bubble, which is kind of nice, but they still actually have way more fast move pressure against us. We're still forced to go for a shield. I need 2 more bubbles in order to get to another charge move, and they reveal that they're going to have the Pulse Stinger here, as I have to use another shield. I thought it was a CMP tie. Let's see if it's going to be a CMP tie. It is. And now we have to kind of swap out afterwards into our Grimmsnarl. And what we see here is that because of the Shadow Ball, I don't really have enough health. If I didn't get hit by the Shadow Ball, I actually would have won this battle. And here you see basically on how close those battles are in the super high elo range. Because what you have there is just one matchup, one kind of mistake, and you kind of lose immediately. And yeah, I wasn't aware about the Seeking and Spiritomb matchup with Peck Seeking nowadays, so sorry about that, I could have played it a little bit better. Anyway, we're going to have here now another regional winner against us as well, which is fantastic, because we don't have anything else up here. I would like to participate in a regional again as well. It will very likely not happen anytime soon. But it would be kind of cool. I would like to play again, and I would like to actually prepare for a regional, which I've never done before. I still hit one time the number 3 spot in a regional, where I literally just built my team on the train towards the regional, so that was fantastic. And I decided for the tournament as well to ban, I think, the top 10 Pokemon or something in terms of usage from the last regional, just to make it harder for myself, and I got up to number 3, which was kind of funny. Anyway, the good old times where I was more competing at least. But we're going to see here now the opponent's Tyranta. I want to kind of get rid of this Pokemon because I have another Icy Wind here, which is now going to be stuck onto the opponent's Seeking, which I think is going to win us the battle straight away. Because now I still have my Grimmsnarl. I'm going to be able to go for a foul play. And I should actually swap out here if I play that correctly. I should definitely swap out into my Politoed to catch the move. Exactly, perfect, thank you. Because Politoed can take the moves a bit easier. We have more bulk here. And also my Grimmsnarl has more fast move pressure, so I don't, even if this would knock me out, which it's not going to be, it's going to be the Icy Wind very likely, which was still the ideal play. So I just went for a charge move straight away. I will be able to still get some sucker punches off, and this is all that I really need in order to win this one, as I can still go for another Weather Ball, knocking them out, and this is going to be it for this battle. So let's take a look at the next opponent. Also a very well-known name here. Not so much for regionals, but I know that I battled this player a ton of times. So let's take a look here. We're going to have Ariados. This is going to be very bad for my lead. It's one of the worst possible leads I could imagine. We get Kingdra out though, which is fine at least for our Politoed. It kind of sets up our Politoed nicely, as we can go for the debuffing moves here, which is the only way of really dealing with this Pokemon right now. Still, Kingdra does so much damage with Swift against my Pokemon, which is just kind of brutal. Here, the Grimmsnarl, for example, just takes so much damage still from the Swift. I don't even know if it can survive 2. Let's find out here. First Swift is coming through. Okay, I can still take 2 off the opponent's Swift. I should have not went for the charge move now in hindsight. That is a mistake. I should just try to go for the full farm down, because I know that they get to another move anyway. And I rather would have had the energy for the Ariados than what I have now. That didn't make any sense at all. This was a mistake by me, absolutely. Should have played it differently. Should have absolutely played it differently. But this is the thing as well. This is the thing that I would recommend you to try to learn as well from. Record your battles if you want to get better. Record your battles is the best thing that you can do in order to get better. For example, here I saw a mistake that I did. I could have went for basically 2 foul plays against the Ariados, which now would leave the opponent with 0 shields left, or not the Ariados and 1 shield Licky. And at the end of the day, I feel like I would have had a very good position there for myself, where I could have definitely won the battle, or at least made it way closer. But now it looks very dire for myself. I need to kind of catch a move here from the Licky, which I doubt I'm going to be able to do, because it was quite obvious as well. And of course, my opponents know exactly what they're doing. So yeah, I'm going to lose this battle now. And that's all down to me making, again, another very small mistake, which is, yeah, something that you should avoid as well. So next opponent here is going to be Holmes' Henry. And again, I'm not really too happy on how I'm going to play in this battle as well. And it's just because there's one thing that I really kind of still haven't got used to, and that is Dragon Tail and Dragon Breath. In my head, those are still hard-hitting moves that generate medium amount of energy. But this is not the case anymore. It doesn't do as much damage anymore, but generates so much more energy than prior, and I'm still not getting used to those counts, and this is definitely something I have to improve on. I'm well aware of that, but let's take a look here at the battle, because I'm actually playing it very well in the beginning. I actually completely Like, the opponent here had actually a Pokemon I want to try out as well. The little... I can't really say the name myself. It's very awkward for me. I don't know why. But the lead Pokemon that they had there is a Pokemon I want to try out myself as well, because it is the hardest answer apparently based on PV Poke, I think, for Spidops. I think it is. I saw it there at least when you go for all meta Pokemon. But here I make a mistake because I forgot that Milotic always just needs 3 fast moves, and I could have went for the foul play here. Would have knocked out the Milotic, would have knocked them out guaranteed, would have kept my Pokemon here, and I would have won the battle straight away. Like, that is what would have happened here, because Politoed would have swept at this point. And there's nothing that... I don't know why I even didn't do this. Like, there was no point of me not doing this here. Now I have to kind of play different. I had to kind of overfarm. They catch the move with it. But the thing that screwed me over is that I didn't go straight for the foul play, because I thought it was 4 and 3 for the Awkward Tail, but that is my own fault. That was really silly by me to think like this, because it isn't. And like this, I'm barely going to lose the battle, but I lost again due to one of my own mistakes, and that's fine. Again, like, this team actually itself, I think is actually really solid, like the Politoed team. I think it really makes sense. But so far, most of the losses came down to decisions that I made during the battle that I would not do afterwards anymore. So, but that's the thing as well. Like, I do those, like, I change my teams every, like, 2 times a day, basically. I change my team just so I can do some content. This will, by the way, change a little bit more towards the next season. I want to make less direct battle content. You will see basically what I mean with it. Like, there's going to be some other kind of videos coming up that I feel like are going to be very helpful for you for the next season, but I can't do them this season yet because the interest rate of, like, trying to learn competitive, I think, is currently at the lowest point possible. We have a ton of lag here. I don't know how many fast moves the opponent got through. I don't know what happened there generally in this battle, but they have apparently got the rollout through and then got a CMP tie. Fantastic. That could completely, of course, change the entire battle. We have the Grimmsnarl against us here right now as well, which is not really ideal. Yeah, like, I don't think that this is going to work out now because, I don't know, like, I am at least missing 1 bubble. Like, that's the thing, I definitely at least missing 1 bubble with my Politoed, most likely even more. And that, like, 1 bubble is quite a bit of energy. Like, it's quite a bit of energy. It's like a third of getting to a weather ball, and, like, this can change any kind of game, like, literally. Here, Power Punch is coming through. It's just going to be Power Punch matchup here, back and forth. The thing is here, the opponent has worse IVs on their Grimmsnarl than I do, which allows them to win the CMP tie. Towards IVs, there's definitely going to be a video next week, by the way, as well. Definitely stay tuned. It's going to be either towards the end or even towards the beginning of the week. I have to see. Very likely somewhere like Friday or something, so definitely stay tuned for this. But I actually can still farm down here. I can still go for a Child Move against the Licky. I knock out the Licky here, and I can still farm down the opponent's Beedrill as well, winning us this battle. So even lag didn't really hurt us here, but here again, Milotic, I still have to get used to the counts. It is always 3. It's always 3 because Dragon Tail does generate 12 energy. And you need 3 in order to get to 36, which then allows you to go for a 35 energy move. And I just, honestly, it's definitely one thing that I still find very much confusing, especially going up against Dragon Breath users. It's getting better for myself, but it's like, basically, if you think about it, I've been playing since the beginning of Go Battle League. Dragon Tail and Dragon Breath have been meta from the beginning, absolutely from the beginning, and they have been the same super strong fast move for, 5.5 years. For me to change that, it just takes a bit. Sorry, it's just, I still have to get used to it. And that's something I know, like, it changed, like, I think 3 seasons ago. I'm still not used to this move update. Like, everything else is totally fine or whatever, but, like, this move update is just, I don't know what it is with it. Anyway, we got Taffy and the Dunsparce against us. We can farm them down. In comes the Spiritomb. And we can go for the Weather Ball spam. This is kind of ideal here. We're just going to get the shield from the opponent. We are going to be able to go ahead and go for another Weather Ball against them as well. Milotic goes down here as well with it, which is not really ideal, because I would have rather had the Spiritomb against us. But I can still try my best here now with my Seeking in the final battle of this video, where the Shadow Ball is just doing so much damage, which is fine. I go for the Icy Wind, which is the only way of us winning this battle. But I have to see if I'm still gonna get to a Weather Ball. Let's take a look here against the Politoed. I go for 1 fast move, I go for 2 fast moves. Yeah, okay, they're gonna outspeed me just barely, and this is gonna win them the battle. Good game to the opponent. This team itself, I think, was actually kind of fine. I made quite a few mistakes though, and that definitely hurt me here. And yeah, hopefully you learn something from it. Politoed itself is not meta though. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not like the top meta Pokemon you want to run, but still fun Pokemon to run. See you then. Bye bye.